What is flex scheduling? Well, it wasn't too long ago that Merrill High School was asking that very same question. Now, in only a few short years, parents, teachers, and students are learning the ins and outs of the system and are starting to see the benefits of changing to such an innovative scheduling model. This video is intended to serve as an introduction to flex scheduling for incoming students and parents, new staff members, and other school districts who'd like to learn more about the system. Flex scheduling is still evolving at Merrill High School, but we certainly have learned a lot on our journey. Flex scheduling was most popular in the late 60s and early 70s, and given that there is no flex scheduling reference manual or book that you can use to get started, many schools have had a difficult time transitioning into this model. However, our research on best practices has identified many learning theories that are supported by flex scheduling. For instance, research states that learning should occur both in and out of the classroom, and that activities should be varied in duration. Research also suggests that learning should be personalized, relevant, and connected to meet the individual needs of the learner, and that learning should be student-centered, including the ownership of that learning. In fact, flex scheduling is recognized as a best practice in breaking ranks and other leading studies. Flex scheduling is based on a couple simple, common sense beliefs. First, flex scheduling schools believe that one size fits all does not apply to learning, and that students learn in a variety of ways and at varying rates. Equally important is the belief that meaningful learning experiences can occur outside of classes, and that a combination of open labs, resource centers, and laboratories provide learning activities that support the classroom learning. In addition, flex scheduling schools believe that students should have access to teachers for help or consultation outside of the scheduled classes, and that students can learn to make good decisions about how to use their unstructured learning time to best meet their own individual needs. Some of these philosophies are very different from what we might remember from our own high school experiences, but flex scheduling schools believe that having students learn to use time wisely is excellent preparation for post-secondary education and life. Finally, a school that uses flex scheduling believes that when it comes to teaching and learning, time should serve students instead of students serving time. As Merrill High School transitioned to a flex schedule, we were asked occasionally, what's wrong with the old schedule? Well, prior to adopting a flex schedule model, Merrill High School operated on a 7-period day similar to what you see in the picture here, and had really operated on that model for a long, long time. That model was very clean and certainly very simple from an administrative point of view, but the bad news is that it wasn't the best for students and for learning. So there are several reasons that we felt we could do better than we were doing in a 7-period day model. For instance, students were very limited in class selections, given the schedule. Students had very limited access, in fact, almost no access to teachers outside of the regularly scheduled class times. Class conflicts forced students to choose between classes that they wanted, and students had reduced opportunities for acceleration or remediation in the 7-period day schedule. In addition, there were instructional limitations due to time limits, in that everything we did had to occur in 48-minute blocks of time. So we knew we could do better, and a flex mod schedule addressed each of these concerns. On your screen is a basic template for our version of flex scheduling. We use 14 periods of time, each being a half hour long, and the courses are designed to use these blocks of time in combination to best meet the needs of the curriculum and the students. These combinations of time, called phases, allow for very different teaching and learning options. Now, each flex scheduling school is a bit different. Some use 20 minutes a block of time, some use 24 minutes blocks of time. It's basically up to the individual school. To illustrate how this works, let's build a sample student schedule, one phase at a time. The first phase that we will put into our sample schedule is the large group phase, and you see those in blue on that sample schedule. The large group phase provides efficiency in the curriculum and is ideal for lectures, special presentations, guest speakers, audio-visual presentations, etc. This phase brings large groupings of students together in one setting. In the photo on the bottom, you see an eligible large group in our lecture hall. What you can't tell from this photo, however, is that some of the students are regular algebra students, some are honors algebra students, and some are supported algebra students. We use the large group phase to have all of our students in a common course come together, and we use the other phases for our differentiation. The second phase that we will put into our sample student schedule is the lab phase. You can see those as more of a light blue on the schedule. The lab phase is very much like the standard classroom setting, typically made up of 20 to 30 students. Labs allow students to gain much deeper connections with the curriculum in a more traditional setting. Again, through using various combinations of periods, lessons can be customized to enhance the learning experience and meet the specific needs of individual learners. At Merrill High School, labs can be anywhere from 30 minutes long to as long as 2 hours long, depending on the course. The third phase in our sample schedule is the discussion phase, which is shown as light blue boxes. These small groups give students the chance to make meaningful connections to the curriculum, instructors, and to their peers. In small groups of 10 to 15 students, students can dig deeper into the subject, can gain better understanding, and can give enhanced meaning to their learning. Courses, such as the freshman history class you see in the photo, are often arranged in circles to facilitate the discussion. Small group discussions are very popular with our students. Now, in this particular sample schedule of 5 classes, that's all the structured class time a student will have during the week. That's not to say, however, that the learning is done for the week. Now, I want to pause and highlight one individual class so you can see what that looks like. In this case, freshman physical science, to show how it looks throughout the week. Notice how the students have the large group lecture on Monday, labs on Tuesday and Wednesday, and a small group discussion on Thursday. These are all highlighted in gold. In this particular example, freshman physical science does not meet on Fridays. Note that each day of the week is different, but it should be pointed out that each Monday is the same, each Tuesday is the same, etc. The variety of the schedule has been very popular with our students. It takes a little extra organization and planning on their part, but the variety is certainly worth it. In a student's schedule, whatever is not a scheduled class is called unstructured time or resource time. This includes lunch. Students have one mod or period scheduled for lunch each day during their unstructured time. Students are limited to 30 minutes of lunch per day, and lunch times can vary from day to day as you can see in the student's schedule. The other mods are then scheduled as resource time based on the courses a student is taking. For instance, the picture at the bottom shows our English Resource Center. In the Resource Centers, students can get help from their teachers, can access course-related material on the computers, and can study. Resource time provides students the opportunity to customize their learning to best meet their individual needs. During this time, students schedule themselves into the appropriate resource centers to do content-specific readings, coursework, and/or projects. During resource time, students have greater access to their teachers in each of the content areas and can receive individualized instruction and assistance based on their own unique needs. The picture on the left shows students using our SMART system to transfer from one resource center to another during resource time. To do this, they simply enter their PIN number, a list of all the available resources that they can travel to will appear, they select the resource center that they want, they arrive at that resource center and re-PIN in. Resource time is an ideal opportunity to address individual student needs including interventions, acceleration, differentiated instruction, special needs support, and gifted and talented needs. Resource time is a time for students to address their individual needs. Given that, they can transfer to the library, each individual department pod or resource center, the writing lab, open laboratories in each of the elective areas, the career center, the commons, the fit lab as shown in the photo, the field house, the weight room, the counseling offices, or the administrative offices. Resource time is an excellent time for students to get the individual help that they need. However, from time to time, students may need extra structure in their schedule to address specific academic issues that may arise. We call this backscheduling. Backscheduling provides students with an opportunity to receive extra help in a particular subject by changing their resource time in their schedules to another resource center. This gives them a chance to work with an individual teacher or as part of a small group. For example, in this particular case, we changed the student's schedule from library resource time to English resource time so they can get specific help in an English class that they may be struggling in. Backscheduling can be set up formally or informally and continues for various lengths of time depending on the needs of the student and of the teacher. Resource time also affords students a chance to take courses that may have conflicts during individual phases on individual days. For example, you can see that red box there. That shows a phase conflict on Monday between English and the business class. Those classes overlap or conflict between 1 and 1:30. We resolve that by having a student leave English 15 minutes early, arrive at the business lab 15 minutes late. Resource time helps address those conflicts. We use resource time at Merrill High School along with technologies such as Moodle and Google Docs to give students an opportunity to get the material that was missed during that conflict time. In this example, the resolutions are made between the teacher and the students. Direct instruction opportunities that are lost can be recovered quite easily during the resource time. This provides students the opportunity to take additional courses and to accelerate or remediate as needed. So there you have it, Merrill High School's version of flex scheduling. If you have questions after viewing this video, feel free to contact Merrill High School at 715-536-4594. Our administration and counselors will be happy to help you.